Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do Ghost Rider number 29 by Marvel Comics. And yeah, this is more like an in-between, a filler issue, if you will. But actually, it's not a bad one. Actually, I like it. And I'm not a big fan of filler issues. I wish they continue the story, but I know they can't. And, well, it is what it is. They always do that. They always, take a break from the main story before continuing the main story for reasons. But this is a good one because it's made by the Kubert family, and you cannot go wrong with Andy and Joe Kubert. Is this it, Andy? Let me double check. Yeah, Andy is the penciler. Howard Mackey is the writer. Howard Mackey is a good writer. I love his work, and the inker is also Joe Kubert. So let's dive in, right? So we see in the beginning that Johnny Blaze and Dan Catch is getting, mugged, if you will, and then they one of the guys shoots in the face of Danny, and he transforms, or he is, maybe I saw at the time, Ghost Rider, and they. I love the work of Kubert. I mean, when I just came into American comics, before that was really a thing in the Netherlands. I thought I was a big fan of Johnny Blaze, and for me he was the Ghost Rider. And when Danny Ketch took over as a character, there was some controversy, and that's always the case when a fan favorite character moves aside for a new character, like Kyle Rayner with when he took over Hal Jordan's mantle as a Green Lantern. There was some controversy and there is some, backlash. But I think they handled those characters with, respect and care. And I became, in no time, a very big fan of Danny Ketch. Although, Johnny Blaze is still, in my heart, the Ghost Rider. But, that aside, I followed the adventures of Dan Ketch as a Ghost Rider, and I loved the run, especially in the 90s with the Midnight Suns. Yeah, it was great stuff, and it was, for me, a great mix between a cool horror story in combination with, badass writing and badass art, and, it was really dark for Marvel at the time. And now, what Marvel is doing with all of their characters, they butcher them and they're making them, not relevant or weak or a pussy, and they replace them with another Ghost Rider character, that drives in the car. I don't know. He's a Latin guy, a Latino. I don't care about the race. It doesn't matter to me. But, it just, it's not Ghost Rider. I mean, Johnny Blaze and Dan Ketch, for me, those are the definite Ghost Riders from ever. Well, ever is a very long time. So yeah, moving on because I keep complaining about stuff. I know how. I know my weakness. So what was I talking about? Oh yeah. So Johnny, the Ghost Rider is here to stop Lilith, and I'm gonna explain a little bit later about the whole thing, but we see that Beast and Wolverine is also into the fray because a couple of issues back, the Ghost Rider was, not so much possessed, but he was infected by the Brood, and the Brood is an alien species, and they think that the Ghost Rider is, he's behaving strangely lately, and they think that's, more like the aftermath of the Brood, and he thinks that, well, maybe he's still infected, and they want to check it out if that's actually the case. We're switching back to the Penny Securities Associate, and it seems that the Mr. Penny here is a institution or a private-run security agency, he hires, how do you say, mercenaries all over the place to do to do a job. But then this guy says, well, we want to have more control over our businesses, and therefore we want to have better pay. And then Penny says, well, we're not going to do that and we're going to let you go. So good luck with your future endeavors. And then he's going back to his associates by, we have Turk and we have Snare. And group is called the Next Wave. And the Next Wave want to, they say, hey, we're getting released, but we are not happy with that. So we're going to teach Mr. Penner a lesson, if you will, as you can see here. So they are blowing a hole in the compound and they're going to Mr. Penner's house, which is in the same, building. And they, like I said, they're going to teach him a lesson. But we're switching back to Ghost Rider because Ghost Rider is, reminiscing about what happened. And they, his war with the Lilin against Lilith. And it seems that Danny Ketch is dying his human form. I forget the whole storyline, what's happening and between him and, why is Danny Ketch mortal host is dying. I forget. So what I know is that Ghost Rider cannot revert back to his human form. So in the meantime, the Next Wave is attacking the compound of Penny. Is it Mr. Penner? I'm sorry. It's Penner. I love that Snare is, looking like Spider-Man. But there's also innocent people there, and they are screaming for help. And then, Turk is, getting, angry, stressed because he cannot concentrate, killing all these people and the structure that he's destroying. And then he shoots at her. And then, the leader of the gang said, Jesus, man, what is wrong with you? We are not behaving like that. We just want what we deserve. And he says, well, I'm sorry. I just got carried away. And maybe she's okay. And then Ghost Rider comes in and it looks fantastic. And he screams, no, he is dead. And her death will be avenged. So they are going to, getting locked in Mortal Kombat. But then he's getting, imprisoned in Snare's trap. But then Wolverine and Beast comes in, and they are gonna team up. I'm not entirely sure why they are here in this book. I know the motivations, and it's a good one. But I actually wanted to, get Johnny Blaze more involved. But I think they're gonna do that because now it's free against free. And what's his name, by the way? This is it, Mr. He calls himself Mr. X or something like that. Not entirely sure what. I forget the name of the how do you say the leader of the Next Wave. Can I see it? Just let me. Nah, I cannot find it. But they're gonna fighting. They're gonna fight each other, and then the leader of the Next Wave is plucking up Ghost Rider, and he releases them, and he says, well, maybe you are hard to kill, but if I'm gonna throw you from a very, very, very tall height, maybe your bones will break. And then this is a cool looking shot. I mean, like I said, with Kubert, I really love his rendition of the Ghost Rider. It looks very cool. He makes him very aggressive and very mean looking, and just great stuff. So Chuck blows Ghost Rider into smithereens, and then the leader of the Next Wave says, "You underestimate us. We are the future, not mutants. We are superpowered warriors who plan on capitalizing on our abilities while we're still on our prime." And there's more people joining the fold. And then the great thing is that Ghost Rider is reforming himself, and he kicks their ass all at once. They don't stand a chance at all. I mean, look at that. He's kicking their ass, beating them up with physical pain, and gives the murderer here the penance stare. And for those of you who don't know, the penance stare is more like if Ghost Rider gives someone a penance stare, They relive the pain and the anguish of their victims. And that's great stuff. But then, Wolverine is not, done with Ghost Rider, and he wants to know, hey man, I don't trust you. I think you are still infected. And he uses his smell and he says, Dan? And yeah. And Ghost Rider says, you don't know. And Wolverine says, you're losing him. What happened to you? What will happen to you if you lose him? Well, he says, there remains to be seen. And there's so much, I don't know little of my past. I don't know much of my past, he says. And then he just drives away and leaves the X-Man part of the X-Men alone. But Wolverine let him go because he knows what it is to lose a part of yourself, because he's battling his inner demons, his wild side, if you will. And it brings us to the end of the book. So, yeah, like I said, it's not, a fantastic comic, but it's a good filler up. And unfortunately, this is also the last time we see the next wave. And, that sucks, because I think they're a cool group, with the, I don't know, just love the costumes, the motivations, about a superpower group that, wants to, how do you say, get rich by using their power and selling their abilities to the highest bidder. I mean, it's been done before, but I don't know, just there's something about this group that I really, really like. But hey, it brings us to the end of the book. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching. It was a quick. We almost at 12 minutes. Forget what I'm saying. It's not quick review at all. So guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel, like my video, share my video, leave a comment. I'll see you next time.